Peace, and blessings. Coming to you live from gorgeous Prince George's. It's another episode of Can We Be Fragrant? And I think we're on episode 34 right now. And interesting enough, the 23rd makes actually 1 year that we've started doing this show. So we got to figure out some kind of way to celebrate, even though we kind of celebrating with you all today. But on my left, we have Ken,
Yes, sir.
who whose content I've been watching on IG for a while, and you've been doing some things with fragrances, but you also kind of got a funny side to you too that I've been noticing.
I
Uh,
try. I try
um,
to be funny. I don't know if I always succeed.
no, it's good content. It's good content. But tell us about yourself for the people that aren't familiar with you.
Well, my name is Ken LeBay. I've been reviewing fragrances since I guess around 2018 or so.
Hmm.
I started writing reviews for a online publication called Sentience Magazine, based out of Atlanta.
Hmm.
And then I finally went to my first industry event around 2019 in New York, Perfumes de Marley,
Oh, mm.
the boutique out there. Met all the content creators from New York, and that was scary. That
I can
that that was
imagine.
intimidating, and I try not to be intimidated wherever I go. But seeing all the faces that you see on YouTube all the time because you're watching fragrance reviews 5 days a week,
Hmm.
that was kind of intimidating. But they couldn't have been nicer. And that one event spawned my interest in creating my own YouTube channel,
Hmm.
which I started in May of 2020, and 4 years in now, just about 4 years, 4.5, something like that, and 300 videos plus later, and traveling the country and the world to go into events and things like that. Um, I just love it. This is a part of my life now, and this is how I got into the game, and this is how I want to stay. I review fragrances from all
Hmm.
over the world. I focus on smaller, more niche companies
Okay.
because I want to really shine a light on people doing good things. The
Okay.
bigger brands, they already have their PR, they
They're
already
getting
have
their money.
everything. Yeah, exactly. So I want to shine a light on smaller brands. People working on things in their homes or in smaller laboratories and things like that. So that's what I try to do.
Um, when did you first get started with fragrances?
Whew. I always asked my grandfather for fragrance because he used to wear Aramis and
Okay.
blue aqua velvet or something like
Right,
that.
right, right, right.
When I was a kid. So whenever we went to church, I asked him for a spray. That kind of just spiraled me down the hill. Junior high and high school, I was into Curve and Aspen and things like that. Tricar, spraying way too much of it, probably stinking up the classroom. And college just the same thing, just upgraded a little by little, however older I got.
Hmm.
So it's always been a part of my life.
Okay. Jason.
Yeah.
Um, Same kind of situation with Ken. I've
Hmm.
come across your content, see different things that you're posting. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, name is Jason Backus. I'm from the area. I'm from PG. Grew up in Bowie.
Shout out to Bowie.
Bought a house in DC. I live in DC now, Northeast. Um, my start in fragrances is kind of weird. Kind of like what Ken said with the church stuff. I began going to church. Kind of got into menswear back in the day.
Okay.
Men aren't really afforded a lot of different things to stand out. We all got on the same blue, black, gray suit. I was like, well, what can I kind of do to stand out? Got into that. Started off kind of, slowly, and then I wanted to like stand out a little bit more. But folks used to keep asking me like I would, get a fragrance. I collect sneakers as well, so I used to
Okay.
get a fragrance. Uh, Talk about the fragrance on my old page. Eventually, folks kept hitting me up. A lot of ladies hit me up saying, "Hey, I see what you got. I'm trying to get something for my boyfriend,
Okay.
for the man in my life, for my father." And I say, "Don't trip. I got you. I don't want you out here smelling like everybody else. I'm gonna hook you up."
Right.
So then it kind of got to be, when the highlights on the Instagram page, on your personal page, get to be too much, and someone's like, "Hey, look, I see what you're doing. Start your other page." So it's probably been about a year and a half now
Okay.
since I've been doing that. I enjoy it. I always say like I'm hesitant to call myself a creator or something like that. I try to be a student of the game for everything that I do. So yeah, like I'm a collector, but I also enjoy putting people on and learning about fragrance content and stuff like that. So yeah.
When did you first get started creating content?
It's probably not. I mean, probably about 2 years. It's been
Okay.
about 2 years.
Okay.
Had a 2 year. I began diving deeper into it. I used to do the whole like Ken said, the curve and jupe and everything,
yeah.
and you're like, okay, like, I'm 16 going somewhere or something like that. You could spray on, your father's stuff.
Whatever you could get your
Yeah,
hands
whatever
on.
you can get your hands on. But then I kind of uh, got more serious into it with the menswear stuff. It's like, okay, cool. Like, if I got a cool little suit tailored, maybe I want to step it up a little bit. Let me see what else I can find. And
Absolutely.
you go the designer route, and you're like, okay, this is cool. And then somebody taps you, and it's like, hey, it's a whole nother world over here if you want to jump into it. So I looked over there and said, all right, well, let's see what that's about.
It's a question for both of y'all. So, what was that fragrance that when you started? Like you saying your curve, the juice. What was that first fragrance that said for y'all that said like, "Hey, this is my next step"?
Aventus.
Okay.
For me, I think for me it was Oud for Greatness. I think
Mm.
that was the type of thing because I couldn't find it. I did. They were like, "Oh, you got to go to a specific store to get it," type of stuff. And you go to Macy's or something like that, and it's not there. So I was like, I had to, go to Parfums de France, in Tyson's, and I, go ask them about it. So I did. That was the one that I was like, now here we go. Yeah.
What about you?
Um, I think my first one that really made me last year. In fact, when we started doing it, was my first one that really took me there was that Parfum Marley, the Artel. That one just sealed the deal for me. Like that let me know like there's a whole nother realm that I need to get to, and it also taught me like if you're going to do this, you need to be able to afford these things that you want to do.
Yes.
And then that's when I started diving into more fragrances along with joining on this podcast, and now it just became to a hobby that's very healthy at this point for me.
Um, as long as I remember, I've always been into designer fragrances. Uh, didn't really know that there was a niche world
Mm-hmm.
out there. I'm I'm really trying to think of what kind of did it for me in terms of niche. Like it might be like Hall Fetty by
Van Halligan. Yeah.
Penhaligon's. I don't know. Is that considered a designer or a niche?
That's niche.
That's
Niche.
niche.
Okay.
That's niche. If you can't find it at Macy's, it's niche.
Okay. I remember smelling that and I was like, whoa, this is different. It lasts longer. Um, like I already thought I got kind of reactions, compliments to fragrances, but when people started smelling that, like
The compliments
I
hit
noticed
different.
something
It
different.
hit different. It
Yeah.
hit different. Yeah.
When you stand out, when you don't smell like anybody else on the street, it just is different.
It's a night and day difference for me. Um, between not smelling good and just
Yeah.
or just being regular, not wearing a scent and wearing like a top tier scent. Because at the end of the day, I'd say like what 90%, 95% of this stuff all smells good.
Yeah.
So you're really not losing with a lot of the fragrances that you pick. But there are levels to this that you can get into. What you been up to?
Uh, like I said, last episode, like I said, my son's getting before I said my son's getting married, so now we're prepping for his wedding in about a week and a half from now.
Okay.
So like he'll FaceTimes we help picking out what he wants, and then he's also about to leave. Him and his fiance about to leave for the army. So that's been my hyper focus for the next week and a half. So that's kind of like my all plans right now. Just kind of hyper focusing on that, and just work. Just working and just trying to keep my life going forward. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I got back from New York 2 weeks ago because I went up for an event. K. Ali released a new fragrance.
I did hear she
saw that.
a new fragrance, yeah.
Yeah, Candy Rock Sugar, something like that.
How was it?
It was very sweet. It was very tolerable.
I meant the event. Not
the
the
event.
fragrance.
It was a good event. It
Okay.
was a good event.
That's the one where everybody had like purple or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And The event was small, but it was nice. There was a little after event that evening, which was a lot more packed because the venue was a lot smaller. But I'm glad I went. My journey right now is basically making connections. I love bottles,
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
love fragrances, but the connections in the community are what I'm after the most at this point. My platform is all about inclusion and representation,
Hmm.
and I label myself the disabled fragrance guy, and I've noticed that along this journey, I have not seen representation of disabled people in fragrance marketing and advertising,
Okay,
and so I want to lend, whatever I can to that space.
that's interesting.
To accessible packaging, to visualization in marketing campaigns, things like that. So that's primarily why I do this at this point. The
Okay.
bottles are great, the scents are wonderful. I have plenty of them, but there's definitely a shift and a change that can be made in the industry that I want to try to affect.
Um, so far, I've reached out to a couple of people. You two, for example, some other people, and so far, everybody's been very welcoming, very willing to help out. I was kind of shocked, right? Because a lot of times, some people are very standoffish. They don't really want to help you,
Right.
don't want to work with you or whatever. But shout out to you two. You came through, responded, was like, how can you be a part of it? So let me just thank you all before we even really get into the fragrances.
Absolutely.
Love that. For me, when I started my page, this was something that I was, to be honest, I was like, I don't know why, but I was shocked. I was like, yo, what's a lot of folks that look like us out here into fragrances. And before it was just kind of like when you walk through your Macy's and you see people, it's like, I don't see anybody look like me that's into this. So starting the page, and then I'm seeing, and I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it. And even when I got into menswear, if you're not looking in the right spaces, they all look a little different. So I'm into it, watching the super big guys, and you're like, yo, these guys don't look like me. But then I saw a whole nother side, and I was like, I love it. So yeah.
It's crazy you say that because I remember when I first kind of got started, it was three or four fragrance content creators out there
Hmm.
that I was looking at, and uh, I sort of liked their content when I first started off because I was
Hmm.
like, oh, okay, this is new, this is different. But after a while, I started not being able to relate to them because I just felt like uh, the things that they were saying seemed to be counter to what I really believe is going on in the industry.
Well, a lot of it, I mean, and I'm sure you can attest to this as well. Like a lot of people will like reach out to you. So it's like, hey, look, man, you can recommend Nautical Voyage to me 85 times for 85 videos.
Right.
I'm not. It's
Don't
not
want it.
gonna. It's not. I'm not gonna get it.
You,
Like,
you,
Not
you,
gonna
you,
make
you're
it.
hitting on my point
yeah,
exactly, where it's
exactly.
sort of like it's funny because today when we were going to do this, I was going to bring Versace Blue Jean.
Hmm.
It's an old fragrance. It means a whole lot to me. It's a
Hmm.
whole. I have a super long story about it, um, but I don't know if that's still relevant today. I mean, it's more about the story for this
Yeah.
show than it is the actual smell of the fragrance. Even though I think it still smells good, but a lot of people, like you said, are pushing Nautical Voyage. They're pushing the 15th duplicate of Aventus Creed,
Right.
and it's like I don't know. Can I really rock with your show, rock with
Yeah.
your content like that?
Exactly.
Um, but we're going to just go ahead and jump into mind games.
See mind game.
So this past Thursday, no wait, it wasn't
It's
Thursday.
Friday. It was Friday or Saturday, I
Actually,
think.
I'm not gonna say what day it was because I was probably supposed to be at work. But anyway,
Don't get in trouble.
yeah, there was a mind games event that was held by the CEO and owner of the company, Alex Shalboff, if I have the name correctly, and they basically went through and he explained the concept for mind games, how he came up with it, why he used chess pieces, how he named the pieces, the different way that he created the fragrances, how he keeps them relatively small batch to keep the integrity of the fragrance. Uh, and so we were going through and we were smelling a lot of these fragrances. Shout out to Domalie and Jessica who went with me. Uh, my real friends. But anyway,
I
Don't
wasn't
let
even
it.
in the state, yo.
and so they went through and they were letting us try all these different fragrances or whatever. They put on a great event out in Tyson. And at this event, after smelling several of these fragrances, I was like, this one relates to me. It reminds me of, to me, it's a fougere. And it reminds me of like whenever I would go see my grandmother. My grandmother, she's up there in age now at this point. She's still alive, doing well, but lives in like a elderly home.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to refer to that as like my fragrance playground. So I'll spray stuff and I'll go over there and I'll see who's going to react. And every time, if I wear a fougere over there,
They love it.
who is that? Who is that guy? Who is that guy? And so this is what led me to get this fragrance here, Vieri. And what makes this even more special is that the owner signed the bottle.
Yeah.
That's fly.
This is the only fragrance that I have that the owner actually signed the bottle.
fly.
So here we have, this came out in 2023, Vieri, and it's lemongrass, lemon, pink pepper, tea, camellia, red fruits, peony, musk, amberwood, and incense. And so I'm just gonna spray this and I'm gonna let you all tell me what you think about it.
What piece is this on the board? 'Cause, last time we talked about this. What piece is this on the board?
You tell me, Nigel.
I mean, it's the bishop. I mean, I'm just letting you know.
What you think?
Stop it.
Yeah, what you think?
Stop it.
So I've become more and more a fan of these mind games fragrances. Like every time I smell one, I'm like, I think I gotta get it. I gotta get another one. I gotta get another one. Yeah.
That's fly.
Yeah.
Is it better than
No, it's not better than Jadou. That's still my favorite out of these. No, actually, that's not my favorite anymore. There's two that I smelled that are better than Jadou, which I thought at the time blew me away.
What? Which one?
Don't say it.
I'm afraid to say because
Blockade?
I already know the blockade. No. It's none of the ones that you hear people talking about now. So it's not. It's not.
Blockade.
It's not Grandmaster.
Okay.
It's not French Defense. It's not Double Attack.
Gambit?
It's not the Forward. It's not Gambit. This is what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
you know what?
I had Grandmaster.
Okay.
I had that.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna share it. I shouldn't, but I am.
Actually, you know what?
Lenora
Okay.
and Sans Noir. You check those two out right there. I mean, I think this is stunning. I think Jadou is better than this. Castling is nice. I mean, not castling. Queening is nice. But those two I just gave you, my sister just came over from out of town, and I sprayed Lenore on her hand. And I said, wait a second and tell me what you think.
She loved it.
She was like, oh my God.
This is
I'm gonna go home now and get on the Demon website and just.
Please do. Please do. And I want you to hit me back and tell me what you think when you get a hold of that.
So remember when I my first came across mind games around November, December time frame roughly, and I bought the whole sample. Sometimes the sample does not hit the same way out the bottle.
Exactly.
I've had the experience where I had the opposite, where the sample was better than the bottle. I don't recall smelling this like I smelled it out of the sample, and it is a legit surprise. And I probably never would buy this initially if I just smelled it out of the sample. I would buy this now.
That's
Yeah.
different. Okay.
Because my coworkers bought her boyfriend this lemon smell. I can't remember what she was just telling me. Her boyfriend wanted this some fragrance that smelled like a lemon. And I was like, and we had somebody over here that brought something before that smelled like a lemon. It was like,
Under the lemon tree.
yeah,
Margiela?
and I did not like
Margiela,
it.
yeah.
This I actually like. This I can see me wearing versus something I want my kitchen or something to smell like that has like a lemony smell into it. This is. I have nothing to say negative today. So normally,
Look at God.
we had bought our first mind games at the same time when we went to our first event. We went out there too, it was just a meetup, and I had to get it mind games. and he got his. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Nothing negative today.
So-
Normally I'll say something negative.
So again, I just got this last week, and
Clearly.
I wore it recently. We were doing something in the neighborhood. I ended up just spraying it on just to go out the house or whatever. And the moment I walked past one of my neighbors, he's like, "Oh, you on your bullshit?" That's what he said when he smelled it. So
Okay.
Vieri by Mind Games.
Okay. I'm gonna have to. Yeah.
Do you, before we transition on,
Yeah, go ahead.
do you feel the whiter set is more of the range you like, or their black side of the house?
So
Because I wasn't at the event, so I don't know what the why they. Of course, two sides of the board are black and white.
it's just two sides of the
Oh,
board.
I didn't know if they had a specific reason why they named put certain fragrances on one side and a certain on the other. I'm just curious if they had a reasoning.
So it might have been, but they was pouring heavy on the champagne. So after a while, I lost track.
I think like when I was looking it up, that they said the darker ones are like for your cooler weather. I think I could be wrong, but I think it's like cool weather, fall, winter is gonna be the more heavier one.
It kind of makes sense because remember I said I wore the queening to the event. Like it was more summer vibes, more lighter, cooler weather, like for the sun season versus the fall and the autumn and all that stuff. It kind of aligns up. At least the ones I've smelled so far from this one, out the box of the actual bottle and the queening that I have.
I would almost consider believing that if I didn't own Jadub, and that bottle is, the box is black and the fragrance is black, and you can wear that year round.
Year round.
Okay.
Yep.
It has a bite to it. I'm not a bad bite. I'm saying, but it has like a heavier. I think it has a heavier scent to it though.
It takes a bite out of the competition. But
Hey, well,
Go ahead, sir.
I was gonna pass it to Kenneth.
Yeah.
Okay, so I brought Yasuke by Xarmony Perfumes tonight, a black-owned brand from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yes, Xarmony has quickly risen to the top of my collection list.
Okay.
I have purchased multiple bottles. I actually visited the company and the perfumer when I was down there last November because I got family close by.
Okay.
So I spent the day in his laboratory and watched him make scents, and we went live on Instagram.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he is just doing amazing work in his house. He converted his garage into his laboratory. So he makes all of his scents in house, ships them with lightning speed, and I'm gonna just let y'all just
Right, you're not even gonna do a whole lot of talking.
no.
It speaks for itself, and it looks like it's going to be potent and strong. Cause that thing is.
It looks like habanero juice.
It might have some habanero.
Okay.
I'm gonna give y'all the notes in a minute because he
Okay.
done packed a punch up in here.
This is grown right here.
That's
This is
grown.
not.
That's not play stuff.
Yeah.
So for the notes,
This is interesting. I like that though. I don't think that's your speed though now.
Actually, no.
you like it?
I'll tell you why in a second, but
Your family is from New Orleans area?
my family's from Lafayette.
Okay.
He's in Baton Rouge, about an hour away.
Okay.
So I just took a Greyhound out there because if I was that close, I was gonna go.
Okay. Makes sense.
give me one more.
You gotta be careful. He holds that strip.
This
like
is
it.
amazing. Amazing.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Well, I'll tell you why after this for me. Before you can get to the notes.
So the notes.
That's dope. I like that.
Hold on. Vanilla, peach.
Definitely.
Vanilla, peach, oud, amber, Japanese cherry blossom, Japanese sake, incense, Moroccan cedarwood, hinoki cypress, amber orchid, sea salt, citrus, some kind of mushroom I can't pronounce, black currant, cherry cola, moss, a black oud, samurai sweat.
God,
Samurai what?
Hold on, I sweat.
Samurai sweat. That's
Hey,
probably just
this thing is lethal. Like what?
Metal, pheromones, African mint, blackness.
blackness and samurai.
Yes.
It is crazy.
Look,
It definitely has samurai sweat in it because, like, the first time you hit it, you can feel it
Hey.
just cut your nose.
So it's based off of the first black
get that back.
samurai that
let me get that back. I'm
entered
sorry.
into Japan.
And that's his name?
That's his name, Yasuke.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I heard it from anime. Cool. Got it. I was like,
Okay.
Okay, that's
So
dope.
that was my first fragrance from the brand. I have like 17 more now.
So how did you come across it?
yeah, I'm curious because
You know what?
Because I've never heard of this brand
Honestly, I think when Mr. Cologne 76 did his first Black Fragrance Week, I think that's might have been when I experienced this brand for the first time
Okay.
or heard about it. And it was kind of interesting to me. I like off the beaten path type
I
stuff.
feel you on that.
So I took a deeper dive. Reached out. I was gifted one bottle. I purchased the rest of my stuff, and
Nothing
I've
wrong
got
with that.
like 7 or 8 of them. So I've given him a healthy portion of my house.
Affordable
Affordable,
or affordable-ish.
affordable-ish.
Okay.
There are always coupon codes on the site.
There we
Oh,
go.
okay.
There we
Well,
So
go.
I mean, always coupon codes on the site, and you can get samples.
Okay.
So I mean, and
Just they have a discovery set too.
I believe they have a discovery set now.
Okay.
I'm buying this.
You said-
I'm buying this.
Here we go again.
I'm not. So as soon as I smelled it, I'm sorry. As soon as I smelled this, it reminds me of like how I talked the parfum Molly when I first bought it. How it just takes over my body. Like I feel the tingle instantly. It sends the tingle through the body
I
because
think it's the blackness.
It's the blackness. Yeah.
Or the
Okay.
samurai.
yeah, it's not, but it just hits. It touches all my senses of smell, and I like it's overwhelming. This is an enjoyment smell. It just feels like it will walk with me through wherever I need to go. It's strong, so I don't feel like I need to wear this in tight spaces. But this is amazing. Like
It's gonna last too.
yeah, it gets when you start naming those. I'm like, yes, I don't know what I'm smelling. It smells amazing. But then you kept naming them and naming them and naming. I'm like, shit, when is this going to end? It gets there
Never
for me.
ends.
It's amazing.
Unisex.
Unisex, yes. A woman that I know, there was a fragrance event in Laurel, maybe about 7, 8 months ago. She bought it on the spot after smelling my bottle. She went to his site at the event and purchased a bottle of Yasuke. She loves it.
Have you
Okay.
ran across other people with any of his stuff in this area?
No, no. Uh, with the exception of that one woman that I introduced this brand to, I have not run into anyone in this area with this brand to the extent that I have it.
That's dope.
I'm just a fan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
you.
that's dope.
Yeah, like
Can I see the bottle again?
Yeah. This is one of their original bottles. When they were small, when the company was small, they just put them in these bottles. The bottles have been rebranded. The scent is the same. So
what year did this fragrance right here, particular one, come out?
I'm tempted to say 2018, 2019. I'm probably wrong. He's probably going to kill me once he sees this. But I apologize in advance.
This is
The vanilla jumps out at you.
Yes.
it's. I want.
Yes.
That's very nice though.
Smell it again.
It's one of my prized possessions.
You went past the strip.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, look, hey.
Gosh.
Look, that thing is.
What does that say? Okay.
I don't even.
There we go.
Because I want to see what's in that bottle.
I mean, it smells good, but I personally don't think it tops that. Just personally, because that is very something I don't even have anything to. The way the combination of notes are in it, that's what does it for me. I don't think this fragrance is not going to do what that does for me. It just doesn't. But it still smells good. But it just is not that for me. And I'm impressed with that.
When do you wear something like this?
Anytime we want to.
Anytime, any
That's-
season,
Any season.
any occasion.
Yep.
Okay.
That's personally my mantra.
Okay.
I know some people segregate seasons and occasions and things like that. There are some fragrances that I wear on certain specific seasons and occasions, but I'll wear this just sitting around the house. I'll wear any of his fragrances just sitting around the house.
Okay.
And I debated bringing another bottle just so y'all could experience it. I obviously did not do that, but you have me on again, I'll bring some more.
Oh,
But
well, in that case, we're gonna have to have you back on there,
Okay.
Jason.
Yeah. Keeping with the theme of what Ken said yesterday, being Juneteenth, Maya Njie Tobak. I picked this up at Ariel Shoshana in Fairfax at an event. I think you were there.
I was
Yeah,
there, yeah.
exactly. So Maya came through. Kind of what I said earlier when I was seeing, I'm like, yo, I see us in this space. So Maya Njie, black woman, I believe she's British. Tobacco. I'm a tobacco guy. I'm like a booze, tobacco. I love it. If it's boozy tobacco, some vanilla, dark stuff, I love that. So smelled everything that she had when they had the event at the store. This kind of stuck out to me. I think so. We got it's tobacco, leather, vetiver, and cinnamon.
Simple.
Simple, simple. I want to say it might be 2016 or 2019, either or. I'm not quite sure when it first came out, but it's one that I got. I enjoy it. Kind of like what you have. Like she signed it. She was there, so
Love it. Love it. Love it.
so I really do enjoy it. I get it off. I have it may not look like a big dent, but my collection is one of the type of ones that I
You rotate?
yeah I
We
rotate.
understand.
Yeah,
We
so,
understand.
yeah, I rotated a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
There we
So
go.
you were mentioning tobacco,
Yeah.
vanilla, booze. What's your favorite note in a fragrance?
Booze.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Ken?
It was tobacco. Then
And
it
by
was
the way, I smell that coming over
Yeah,
here.
it hit me fresh.
Lord.
As soon as you spray that smell, this is
here.
nice.
That has arrived.
This
I'm sorry,
is
go ahead.
nice.
What was your favorite note?
It was tobacco back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Then I switched to vanilla,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm really kind of in the vanilla oud space.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting into not the heavier ouds, not the barnyard fecal type ouds, but the ouds that stand out and make a presence.
Got you. Got you. Got you.
I like that. It's a light, but it's not heavy. But it's a
It's a cool vibe.
it's
This is very nice.
Yeah.
I'm
it's
trying to think of what note is this that I'm picking up that's
It's
jumping
a-
out of it the most.
Yeah.
Have you smelled this yet?
I have that actually. I
Okay.
was
At the
this was the
event.
first. This was the first fragrance I ever bought from the brand,
Mhm.
and I bought it at Muse Modern Urban Sensory Experiences in New York
Okay.
a couple years ago, and endeared me to the brand. I have a couple of other offerings from them. This was my first love, though.
Yeah.
that's
Affordable-ish.
I think it's it's like 100 to 120, I believe.
Okay.
In that one, so pretty good. It's one of the ones that it smells kind of similar. People are like, oh, I smelled tobacco before, but it's not like everybody else. So
This is different.
yeah, it's
Uh-oh. So
go ahead. I'm like,
His
No,
wallet
no,
is
I'm
gonna
just gonna
suffer.
say, like, we're going around and everybody's kind of been impressed with everyone's
Yeah.
fragrance, and
here we go.
we have you.
Oh, here we have it. So, in my journey of fragrances, 'cause I've brought I love a lot of Arabic fragrances. A lot of my collection is that I buy. Filthy Rich is probably one of my favorite groups right now of fragrances that I have. But I have a couple things from them. This has a lot of different notes in it, but it's more of the. I love this smell over here so much. I'm just trying to like it. I done got it brought down to size a little bit at this table a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Finally.
You want us to cut the show and you
Nah.
come back and you had that
You know
bottle?
what? I'm gonna let y'all smell it first, and I'm gonna give you the notes real quick.
That's a nice bottle.
After the
nice
present,
bottle, beautiful
for me,
We know presentation matters.
Sense of Soul. So I'm sorry. This is from Filthy Rich from Dubai. Sense of Soul is a black version. They didn't change the bottle. It's a newer bottle they have with this one. This is a red label now. This is before they changed it. I'll let y'all smell it real quick, and then I'll read off these notes for y'all.
I love that bottle. That was
I'm a
standout.
big component of keeping the boxes and keeping, because for me, like I said before, it reminds me when I bought it, why I bought it, the moment I bought it, versus just having the bottle there. The bottle doesn't.
So you're a big presentation guy?
I am.
Okay.
Do you keep your bottle? I mean, your boxes?
I do keep my boxes for aesthetic purposes. I have a display case in my room, and then I just throw the boxes in the closet. But I keep most of my boxes.
Do you keep your boxes?
I keep them, but like literally earlier this week, I was like looking at them and I was like, these are gonna have to go. I'm the pick and choose. Like I got some jersey offs and I'm like, I'm not gonna toss those. Like jersey off
The
presentation
Xarmony boxes are
it's beautiful.
nice, but
Yeah.
I've tossed every box
Yeah.
I own
But other
because I don't have the space.
Mhm.
But I take that back. I've kept both Mind Games boxes and I've kept my
I smell
Argos
that on-
boxes.
I smell that already. Oh my god.
This gives me you. Like if
Yeah,
I
you
smell
know,
this out, this is you.
good.
So the
This
bottom
is
note
good.
is amberwood, bourbon vanilla. The heart note or the mid note is lavender, sage, and carmine. and then the top note is lemon, ginger, and mandarin orange. Vanilla is one of my favorite ones in all sweeter fragrances, but I've come to find out mandarin orange has been in a lot of my top fragrances that I have. For me, mandarin orange is in there for me. It just works. That's a great combination. I have not wore this out yet because I have so many that I've kind of forgot that it was there.
Right.
And I just when we had texted about the show today, and I really didn't know what I was gonna bring, and I went to the room and I was like, what have I not touched? And then I was like, this box right here. I said, I remember how when I bought it and how I liked it, but I just haven't found the appropriate time to bring it out, and I felt like it was appropriate to bring it out.
Let me smell that strip again, because I think I know what this is. I've smelled this scent before.
It smells familiar,
It smells familiar.
but it retains some individuality to it, I think.
It smells familiar. I'm totally joking about being able to pinpoint what this is. I don't have that nose, but it's nice. I'm when I smell that reminds me of like something you would go.
Yeah, if you had all my fragrances have a lingering, or it's not a more like an odor smell. It's more of like a sweeter smell, something along this line right here. I have started to dabble out in my journey. Like I said, this is only me getting deep in but almost a year in it. So I'm here now. I don't know what it's gonna be like next year because I might forget all the bottles I have now and be like, you know what? Yeah, it's time just to hand these off and everything, and then start on to something else. You know. It's a typical smell for me, so it's like it's not a reach for me to have this in my collection or something like that.
It's good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would enjoy that. Absolutely.
Still, I want that. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna give you a website after the show.
Oh, it will be bought. I'm going to buy the Discovery set though too, because now I'm curious to see what else he produces. Because if he has me off this one, I want to see if the range on this one.
This could be the best of the best though.
It could be, but I could find something else that has a whole different range for me that just takes me somewhere else with his fragrances, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm dabbled in a lot of the regular niche stuff, but it's really not to my liking. Some of it, because like everybody talks about Creed is amazing, Creed is good, but I'm just not. I don't want to go buy Creed because I know it's there.
It's good.
I want something that's like that is unique. Very unique. I know if I pulled, now you have it. It's only maybe 2 other people in this state in my mind that got it. Maybe if you watch the show, you might buy it too. But it's just like I want something like that where it's like, where did you get this from? I'm not telling you, I'm not keeping it in, but like, yeah, like no, but it's just
keep this.
I understand that. Like I've had, like I said, people have always asked me, like, oh, my pop's Father's Day's coming up. Just passed. Father's Day's coming up. I got to get something for my father. What can I get him?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can help you out. I got you with that. But then it's also, being around. You be out places. I done heard from my homeboys. My homeboys are coming up to me and said, "Hey, met a girl. She said I gave her a hug. She said, ew, you smell like my ex." And I was like, don't even trip, bro. I got you. I got you. And he's like, well, I'm like, well, what did you have on? And he says some designer. And I'm like, of course you smell like our ex. Like everybody in the club got that on. So I got you. But yeah, exactly.
I'm the ex.
You said you smell like me, baby.
Yeah, they smell like me. But it's funny you had mentioned Father's Day because, like I said, my sister had just came over yesterday. My daddy came with her, and he was like, "How's the podcast going?" And at the moment I started telling him, he was like, "Just go get me one of your fragrances." And I was like, "I don't even." Growing up, my dad never wore any fragrances.
Exactly.
Never. And so I remember I gave him kind of the first bottle that he ever had, and that was it's from. Why am I drawing a blank right now? It's Viva More by Novatus Parfums.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's a fragrance that I really love. And he got it, ran through the bottle. So I was like, I don't even know what you really like. And I'm not going to give you my other bottle of Viva More. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
But he was like, I trust you. So I ended up going up and I grabbed Kenneth Cole Black bottle I had. And I was like, I don't wear this, but I think he would like it. And sure enough, he was like, this is good.
I love it.
So now I'm wondering, as I'm thinking about it, did he like the fragrance because I gave it to him or because it was good?
It probably, I mean, both. It's probably a story.
Yeah.
Get it off like, yeah, my boy gave me this.
Yeah.
Proud.
Yeah.
He's proud.
Yeah.
Have you just quick? Do you do blind buys often? Because we talked about it last podcast.
Too much.
What is the names the blind buy that you bought that was just nothing what you thought it was gonna be? It's like, you know what? I wish I wouldn't even. I'm never doing this again. Almost.
I would have to say Xerjoff Alexandria too.
Wow.
What?
You know what? I got
What?
3. You know what? I got
What?
3. Alexandria
Do you
3.
like 3?
I like
Cannot.
3. I love
I
it.
will buy that off you.
It's already sold.
Ah,
had to get it
2 is
outside.
great.
I got
And you said
3.
you like oud too. That's a oud bomb.
That is crazy.
Everybody
In my
knows
defense,
that.
I
In my defense, it was 2 years ago, and I wasn't really that much into oud
Different
at that
nose.
point. Different nose at that point. But it was just so medicinal and so stingy to my nose. It was just like, I cannot have this in the house because
Okay.
it just took over the entire space.
Okay.
So I got rid of it. Yeah. At this point, I might try to get it back. I might.
You might need to smell it again first.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, I was wilding, and I remember I was like, I want to get 2 or 3, and it was just one of those things. I was like, I look at the notes, you get on Fragrantica, you're like, what can I? And I was like, let me go to YouTube real quick, and they were like, which one should you get, Alexandria 2 or 3? And the guy was like, oh, if you want blah 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 blah, blah, go with. I said 3 is for me. I blind bought 3. I was like, I got it. I was like, it's cool. It's good. I really liked it. Then I went down to Orlando, and they've got a fragrance store down there. The name is escaping me. They had Alexandria too, and I was like, well, sprayed it. I said, nah, that's not for me. I said, I'm happy I got 3. It's not bad. But I sprayed 2, and I was like, I got 3. I'm good. Like, I patted myself on the back. I was good.
That Alexandria too smells grown. It's sexy. Like I know that it's a
grown
powerful
something.
fragrance.
Yeah.
It's growing something. I know that if I wear that, I'm going in a room. I'm overspraying. I'm offending people. Like that fragrance right there is beautiful. I don't really blind buy no more like that, so it's hard for me to say. But I was going through the store when I got this, and let me tell you, it's been a lot of fragrance people that's been hyping up these Roja Dove fragrances, and I went through and I smelled. I was like, "What the hell is this crap?" Like, and the lady read off the ingredients. It was like 60 ingredients.
It's a lot of notes in it. It's a lot of notes, and they also say like the longevity of it is not bad, but you'd be like, for 30 notes, you'd be like, I'm expecting this to be a
8 hours.
eternal. No, okay, boy, we're gonna smell you for 2.5 hours and whatever.
I need to wash it off to get the scent away of all that. Like,
I literally heard people brag and say that this, I think it's Isola Blue.
Isola
It's just a must-have. And so I was like, let me smell this. And when I smelled it, I was like, are you kidding me? No.
What I do sometimes, if I like can't get to, and it's probably the more expensive way, I'll just get a clone. I'll be like, I'll see what I'll get a little.
Is the clone going to hit close enough to it?
I'll be like, if it's cool, if it's something in the vein of it, I'll be like, it's cool. I'll rock with it. If it's not, I'll be like, this is terrible. I've got some of them like that where it's like I get a clone in like a little 10 milliliter, whatever the milliliter is. I can get it for $33 or something like that. Get that off, and I don't like that. I won't even get the real one. Yeah.
I did that with a couple of Rojas.
Yeah.
Elysium. I wasn't gonna pay I wasn't gonna pay that. So I just got I think it's Fragrance World had one called Imperium. I got that.
Bottles look exactly the same.
Bottles look exactly the same. I was like, $25?
Yeah.
What do you think of the fragrance? Because Elysium, it smelled good, but it has that kind of pineapple-y.
I would call it a very ripe pineapple. Like very, very, very ripe pineapple, like almost Lysol-ish type
oh god.
pineapple. And that's what I didn't like about the original. The dupe that I have kind of toned that down a little bit. It's still there.
So that dupe was inspired by it, or was it just okay? So it wasn't okay. Yeah.
But for I don't mind clones. I would rather have the original for
Always,
for the
always rather
collection's
have the
sake
original.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
and for
Exactly.
content's sake and all that stuff. But if I gotta go clone route, okay, fine.
You obviously don't have a problem with clones, right?
It's not. I'm kind of on the same way. It's like I'd prefer to get the original. What I will do if the clone houses will do the inspired by the mixtures, I'll do that. Like I'll get that off because sometimes you're like, bro, I don't have time to do musk therapy mixed with the Ventus mixed with you know whatever. It's like I have it, but I don't have time for
Right, right.
yeah, I would say
Yeah.
I'll get that off type of stuff, but um, I'll try them, and if I like it, I'll get the real one. I kind of say I kind of say
Those
that to the
hybrids.
original creators as like, look, I got you. I liked it, but I support your brand too.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Speaking of those hybrids, I got one today from Latafa. It's
Hmm.
a hybrid of Hasavat and Nishane Annie.
Okay.
And oof,
You standing by it?
standing 10 toes down on that one.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm taking that on vacation.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
That's beach vibes.
I'm a Hasselblad fan. Uh, Never got my nose on Annie, so I'm gonna have to go check that out
That's
now.
real good.
It's real good.
It's real good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I didn't. You get back to blind buying. I don't want to say blind buy. I don't want to say brand because the guy followed me. But like, and you all probably pick it off. But like, sometimes it's not even blind buying. It's more like hey, I'm coming out with something. If you want to support it, you can get X amount of dollars off if you get it. And you're like, I'll support you. And the guy told the story. He's like, oh, this is honoring somebody in my family member, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, bro, I got you. I got you. It arrived. I was like, nah. Like, I was like, nah. And that was like there's one fragrance in my collection. That's the only one in my collection that I was like,
Damn.
nah, like I can't get this off. When I have people come over, I give them a house tour or something like that. They're like, oh my God, like my setup. I used to have a bookcase, started to get a little heavy, so I need to leave in the comments shelves and everything suggestions. I need to get some new shelves. I got them on my office, my desk now, so I just got a big setup out there. But I will literally be like, oh, how do you feel about this? People will be like, nah. Everybody's come over has been like, nah, I'm not into it. And I'm waiting for one person to be like, I really like that. And be like, there you go. It's
There
a
you
gift
go.
to you. It's a gift to you. But like, yeah.
I think I've gotten rid of all of my fragrances that aren't pleasing, at least to me.
Mhm.
Like I feel like at this point I've developed so many. Um, Not that I've developed, I've accumulated so many fragrances that just smell so amazing that nobody would hate them. Um, I, I'm too afraid to blind buy stuff.
I mean, I get
Like
it.
I will buy 1 ml samples. I'd probably like I don't know, say they $3, $4. I may get I don't want to say 100 of them. That's
Yeah.
crazy, right? But I can get like 20,
Yeah.
and then I'll make a decision based on that which fragrance I want to get. But since I've been going back to the store, back to Ken's point, making connections, trying to link up with different people. Shout out to Grace, by the way. Um, you really get to go through and smell all of that stuff, and uh, I like to get it on spray it on my
Skin?
skin,
Yeah.
walk around for a while, see if it lasts, if something
Exactly.
gets in the way, then come back and then make a decision on it.
Because they're an investment. I mean, if you're going to
It
spend
is.
hundreds of dollars on something, I mean, you want to enjoy it. You want to be pleased by it. You want it to be pleasing to others. So, of course, you should always, I'm going to say this, but I'm not going to follow it. You should always test on skin. You should always buy a sample. I'm not going to do that because I'm a risk taker.
We all joke about blind buying, and it seems like everybody does
You're
it.
gonna
We
do
say
it.
don't do it.
Yeah, you're gonna, especially, and they're getting smarter. Like, especially if it's somebody like I'm coming out with something new, I'll knock a couple dollars off if you buy it. How
Right.
can I test it something if it's not even out? Like maybe for content purposes, you're like I want to be one of the first people to get it, but that's the one in my collection that I was like, this ain't it, big dog. Like, I wish you well, but nah.
Parfum de Marley comes out with something. You blind buying it?
I have to look at the notes.
Nah,
I have to look
you
at the
buying
notes.
it.
I have no,
You
no,
buying
no,
it.
no, no, because only
After Cologne, I believe you'll buy anything.
No, that was a blind buy, but that was a blind buy.
That's my point.
But I didn't know. I mean, it's
Like the red pepper. That's the pepper.
But the
yeah.
so
That's the dirt. Whatever that is in that fragrance.
so that I have not. I can't wear that fragrance because
I got it too. It's one of them things that I'm like, where can I wear this to?
Right.
Where can I?
And I used to have it.
You can wear it to a Chinese restaurant.
So the crazy thing is red pepper. So I bought
You can wear it to a field or something like that.
You can wear it to a buffet, something like that.
I brought Hugo Intense. It's the red bottle. It's red apple, red pepper, and red leather. Great man.
Wait a minute.
That's a whole lot of red.
It's no. Look.
a whole
It
lot of-
threw me.
He brought it over. It's a nice scent.
It was just. It's so simple, but it was just.
What does red leather smell like?
I don't know, but if I can,
Think of brown leather and just tone it down.
Okay.
I'm joking.
I'm thinking like
I have no
red
clue.
bottom. I'm just thinking about like I walk by a leather store or something
In
like
fact,
that, like with all the
I think I
coats.
have it in the car. I'll bring it in here if
Okay.
y'all smell. I have it in the car. That thing, it's just very different. And it was just, I would have never thought I would wear this, but when I was in Tyson's too, and I went to Nina and Marcus first, and then I was like, oh, let me look around. Then I was like, I have a Hugo ball smell already. Let me go look at their other ones. So I really like the one I have, the elixir one I have. So I said, let me just go and see what else. And so I went through all of nothing. And then I picked that one up and I was like, what the? I didn't buy it from their store though, because I was like, I'm not paying your price.
You got it discounted.
Great
No.
market.
I went to Amazon. I ain't gonna lie. And Amazon
That's fine,
came.
too.
Amazon came in a clutch a day
I
later.
can't mess with Amazon.
That you can't. Hey, look.
Yeah, all day
Came
long.
I'll check the reviews if it's like how many sales it has. I look at who's selling it. That's what I gotta look at.
Yeah, that's all. That's what I meant. Just like you have, they do a lot of third party selling, and you don't know somebody in their basement.
Because Walmart is good too. I used to get
Walmart
Walmart. You got to look at specific
Yeah.
like sales. You can see them. Sometimes you be like, I don't. If it sounds too good to be true, it's because it is.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
because I
it's
said
like,
I was looking for right now I'm looking for a chocolate scent that I'm gonna mix with something, right? And the bottle I want, everybody else is like $300. Walmart has it for $90.
Nope.
And I'm just like,
Nope.
Gonna happen.
what? Let me look. And I was like,
No way.
I
nah.
thought you would say 150. I'm like, okay, 150 I could deal with.
It was $90. I was like, why?
A chocolate scent.
Yes.
Is it called s'mores?
No.
Okay.
It's got something illegal in it.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like I should have more questions for you, fragrance giants, right now, but I don't have.
I do have so in your content journey, because this is like we're in the beginning state. We're just now hitting a year, like marketing yourself and getting out there and like trying to grow yourself. Like, what do you feel like was the biggest challenge in this field? Because it is a very specific target audience that we're looking to gain, right? But you still want to have outreach, get gains. Like, how did you strategize to do that, or you just let the maturation of the process go along?
The biggest challenge for me was my head. I was always in my head. I was always trying to compare myself to the bigger YouTube creators or the bigger content creators. And when I went to actual events and met those people, I'm not going to name drop. I'm not going to do nothing like that. It was like they were great. They were cool. They was like, whatever I can do to lend a hand or support, let me know. So the biggest challenge for me was just my own self,
Yeah, getting out of your own way.
getting out of my own way. And I'm not the biggest content creator. I'm not the biggest on YouTube, but I don't have to be. I show up to the events that I show up to because I can, because I want to. If they're not within, train or plane distance, I ain't going, except for that one event yearly in Italy that I always go to.
Just Italy.
Just Italy.
I'm going.
I'm going to Italy.
Except for that 1 yearly event.
I'm going here.
See you next year.
It's an event that I go to in Junior.
Like, I'll see you next year. Like, you forgot your bag. Don't worry. I'll be back next year.
I have a house out in Italy that I go to.
I do not have
I
that.
said I was Sicily and just.
But no, it was just getting out of my own way. I mean, that's 90% of it.
Since you already brought it up, how did you stumble across this thing in Italy? Because now I'm there. Like, what
Uh,
made you go there? What drew you there?
it's Exxon's is the biggest perfumery event of the year. I believe it's the biggest one in Europe. I had stumbled across their website and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save up and go. So 2 years ago was my first year. I went back in March of this year, and that's the one I plan to go to every year.
It's the same time every year.
They switch it up by a couple months every year, just on the availability of the location that they
Okay.
rent out. But if that's where, if you want to be a content creator, if you want to explore a world of fragrance, literally a world of fragrance, that's where you go.
Got it. Got it. Sand Explorer, have you been?
I have.
You like it?
Love it. Love
Okay.
it. I was at the first one in 2019. 2020 was virtual. Um, 21 and 22, I believe, were virtual hybrid. And then I went this past year as well. Again, I mean, it's only 4 or 5 hours away. And I'm in this space where, I love doing what I do. So I'm going to put myself in situations where I'm going to be visible
Absolutely.
and uh, connect with the people that I want to connect with in this space as well. So yeah, whenever I can go, I go.
It's my goal to go this year. That's what my plans are. What about you, Jason?
For me, mine was kind of like what Ken said, but mine is just admittedly thinking that people cared. To be honest, I think when I was sharing it on my Instagram stories, and I was like, "Yo, my bad, y'all. I post a lot of fragrances. Would it be easier for me to just create my own page for it?" And they were like, "Yeah, like do that." So and then you get the votes of yeses and nos type of stuff. I remember the people who voted no. I remember you, but like, but like you get the. And I started it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just throw my reviews up there and see what happens. And then it grows slowly but surely. It
Slowly
grows,
but
and I was like,
surely,
oh okay. And I seen your wristband. I seen you're in iota.
yeah.
I'm a noob.
Oh,
So
shout out.
yeah, so I seen that. So had a couple of my frat bros, a couple other people was like, hey, look, this guy's got all the reviews. If anybody knows any, like, if you want to know, holler at my boy. So I'm getting random people. Like for me, the followers are okay, but it's more of like the story. Like, hey, look, I followed you a couple of months ago. I bought this one. Love it. I went to an event. Uh, 8 compliments. I'd be like, you 8 compliments. He's like, I went to an event. 8 compliments. I'm getting stuff. People are telling me, like my father said that this was the best gift ever. My boyfriend likes whatever, whatever. So for me, it was just thinking. I was like, oh yeah, like people care about this. Like, all right, like so I'm into it now.
So
Yeah.
surprisingly, they do. I, to your point, I see it's it's like the highest high when somebody reaches out to you and says, "Hey, I saw you talking about this fragrance. I ended up going to go get it based on
Yeah.
your recommendation or your word or whatever." Um, but you can cash at me too instead of just saying you bought it. But no, I love that. I love hearing when somebody says that they like bought something off of
Yeah.
the strength of my word or whatever. Uh, I have a young Padawan, a young student that's been studying my every move,
Oh, really?
buying fragrances that he's seen me with, or studying my notes and things like that.
Whatever. It's like this past week I've had actually today I was sitting down with my coworkers and they was like, hey, one of the guys, he was like, man, I really love your fragrance. I need to get it for he's about to go out of town. He's like, man, what is that you wore on Tuesday? And then my other coworker was like, hey, I need the other one that was in the bottle that you had because it was so clean. I haven't brought it here yet, but it will be brought out soon. And it was like, okay, I'm now, since as I'm increasing my fragrance game and my note extending over because the one that one of them liked was something that I never wear consistently, and it was just like, hey, I need that, and it's just I'm seeing how me transitioning my palette and venturing out on this fragrance that hey, people do notice what you wear and they pay attention to it, and they'll have a conversation with you just because now like I've told people at work about my podcast and everything, and then we'll have conversation. Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? One of my coworkers that sit across from me, she likes more softer scents. So she was like, hey, just bring me some. She's like, don't wear none of that loud stuff around me. Wear the softer ones, but that's her palette. She's like, I'd rather wearing these fragrances. So it worked out. And it's just, those are the things I'm seeing the transitions and how you get the reactions, or where's the middle point? That's also what I'm looking for. So I know the lows are consistent. That consistent one will like it's a hey, everybody kind of gravitates to it. That's what I'm looking for that smell right now. Like I don't think I have one in my one that has a middle tone. I have my everyday one, but like me, I tell you about my everyday like before it was Coach Platinum. I live, I die by it. You can ask me about any other Coach fragrance in there. I don't want it. I want Coach Platinum. That's it. I don't care if it's the green, the New York. I don't want none of it. That's the one I'm going for. But that's for me. That's not the mid-ground market for everybody. So.
Um, I was just going to wrap up everything and say that this was a very good, productive show. I learned a lot from meeting you all and talking to you all. I'm going to give you the last word. What do you want to say? We're going to go around the table, but Ken, what do you want to say?
Well, first, I want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Thank you.
I know this is a specific niche that's, kind of obscure for some people, but I hope that we shed a light on a few things today. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate that. This is actually the first podcast I've ever done, so I want to thank you guys for that. But you know, the disabled community, the community that I represent, is severely underrepresented in the fragrance industry, with marketing, with representation, with just basically companies knowing that we exist and we love fragrances. And so I want to shine the biggest, brightest light on representation and how companies can and should reach out to disabled content creators in general, but in specific, disabled content creators to hone their skills and to see what we have to say about packaging, what we have to say about uh, marketing, television marketing,
Models.
book marketing, everything like that. So if anybody wants to reach out, cool. I'm always available to have a chat. But my job as a disabled content creator and a fragrance fan is to shine a light on smaller brands like Xarmony and brands that are, doing great things. So that's what I want to do.
Okay.
For me, I'm just excited to be here. Majority of my actually all of my reviews have just been me writing it. So this is the first time I'm even on camera doing something like that. So this is kind of like inspiring for me to maybe hop in front of the camera and tell stories about different fragrances. Um, in lieu of it being Juneteenth yesterday, support your local, black owned brands. Um, just love. Thank you for having me here. Appreciate it.
Once again, I am thankful that y'all are here. This is probably like the very first time we've had an all-male panel. Normally, it's a good mix. We have a mixture of two females, one female, whatever mixture. This has been a very real good experiences. I mean, it's not all because I'm typically a very joker person. I've always talked about demon time and joking about me being wild and out and stuff like that. And I have done none of that here. So it was like it's a more of the mature, the more calm, and the more it's good just to get together at some point with fellas and saying to have this conversation about sense because it's just this is the man side of the house of like hey, why are we getting the fragrance and everything because it's not we like to keep a balance, but this is more of like a good welcoming experience. I didn't know how that would go because we really haven't had that panel like that. At least I haven't since I came on and joined. And I enjoy it. Y'all have been fantastic. I love it for the support. Can't wait to support y'all more. If y'all need anything from us, let us know. Support, come out. Hey, I might see you in Italy now that I have a reason to go.
We all gonna be there.
I look for a reason to go anywhere. And it doesn't tell me just a information share. Thank y'all for watching, subscribing. And just we ask y'all to keep coming back and just spread the word, share anything you do, and just live well.
Thank you, guests, for coming on. Thank you for watching. You could be anywhere doing anything, but you're giving us your time. Hat of the day, Game of Colognes. Shirt of the day, MBD. My bottle's different because they different compared to other people. Thank you again. I, I'm I'm not gonna talk about your fragrance anymore. We just Peace.